When we think about learning English, many people imagine long vocabulary lists, grammar rules, and thick textbooks. But the truth is, the hardest part of learning a language is not understanding it. It is having the confidence to actually use it in real life. Many learners can read newspapers in English, understand movies, or even write essays. Yet, when the moment comes to speak, they hesitate. Their mind goes blank, their tongue feels heavy, and suddenly, the English they know seems unreachable. This is not because they lack knowledge. It is because they lack confidence. And confidence, unlike grammar rules, is not something you memorize. Confidence is something you build. Speaking English with confidence does not mean speaking without mistakes. It does not mean speaking like a native. It means opening your mouth and allowing your thoughts to flow, even if the sentences are not perfect. In fact, fluency is not perfection. Fluency is comfort. The ability to keep going, to continue expressing yourself even if the words are not exact. Think about children learning their first language. They make mistakes all the time, but they keep talking. Why? Because they are not afraid. They are curious, they want to connect, and they believe their voice matters. That is the spirit every English learner must rediscover. One of the first steps to building confidence is to remember that mistakes are not failures. They are evidence of progress. Every time you make a mistake, you are testing your English in the real world. You are discovering what works and what doesn't. Imagine you are learning to play the piano. If you only press the keys when you are certain the song will be perfect, you will never learn. The same is true with English. The people who improve fastest are not the ones who know the most grammar, but the ones who speak the most, mistakes and all. Another key to confidence is simplicity. Many learners feel pressure to produce long, complicated sentences, full of advanced vocabulary. But communication does not require complexity. It requires clarity. If you say, "I like this movie," the message is just as strong as, "I find this cinematic production highly enjoyable." In daily life, short, simple sentences are enough. In fact, most native speakers use simple language every day. When you realize that your basic English is already enough to communicate, your fear begins to shrink. Confidence also comes from rhythm and practice. English is not only about words, it is about music. The rise and fall of the voice, the pauses, the flow. When you listen and repeat natural English, you begin to feel that rhythm. Over time, speaking becomes less about building each sentence in your head and more about letting the rhythm carry you forward. Just as a dancer practices steps until they feel natural, you can practice English until it flows more easily. Another important step is learning to slow down. Many learners think fluency means speaking quickly, but that is not true. Fluency means speaking smoothly, even at a slow pace. When you slow down, you give your brain more time to find the right words. You also appear calmer and more confident to your listener. Think of great public speakers. They do not rush. They pause, they breathe, and they allow their words to land. You can do the same in English. Confidence is also about mindset. If you see English as a test, you will always feel nervous. But if you see English as a tool for connection, you will feel more relaxed. Instead of thinking, "I must not make a mistake," think, "I want to share my idea." This small change transforms the way you speak. Your focus moves away from yourself and onto the conversation, where it belongs. It is also helpful to have small, daily speaking goals. For example, tell yourself, "Today I will speak one sentence in English to someone. Tomorrow, try 2. Step by step, these small victories add up. Over time, you will realize that speaking is no longer a challenge but a habit. Another method for building confidence is storytelling. When you tell a story about your life, even a simple one, you naturally connect sentences together. You move beyond single words or short answers and begin to speak in a flow. For instance, instead of only saying, "I like coffee," you might say, "I like coffee because it helps me wake up in the morning. My favorite coffee shop is near my house, and I go there every weekend with my friends." This natural expansion of thought trains your brain to think and speak in longer stretches. You must also remember that confidence grows in real conversations, not only in your mind. Reading English silently is useful. Listening to English is useful. But to build confidence, you must actually speak out loud. Even speaking to yourself can be powerful. Describe your day in English. Talk to the mirror. Narrate what you are doing. These small practices give your brain and tongue the chance to work together. Over time, the gap between knowing and speaking begins to close. And perhaps the most powerful reminder of all, people do not care about your mistakes. Native speakers are not secretly counting your grammar slips. They are listening to your message. Most people are grateful and even impressed when you try to speak in their language. If someone does correct you, it is usually because they want to help. When you understand that the world is not your enemy, your fear will begin to fade. Confidence is not built in one day. It is built step by step. Each time you speak, no matter how small the sentence, you are training your courage. Over weeks and months, your courage grows into habit, and habit grows into confidence. One day, you will look back and realize that speaking English is no longer something you fear. It is simply something you do. So, if you understand English, but lack confidence, remember this. You already have everything you need. The words are inside you. The grammar is inside you. What you need is to trust yourself, open your mouth, and speak. Do not wait for perfection, because perfection never comes. Confidence is not about knowing everything. It is about using what you already know. English is a bridge, a doorway to new opportunities, friendships, and experiences. Every sentence you speak, no matter how small, brings you closer to the world. And the world is waiting to hear your voice.